In East New Britain, Papua New Guinea, two friends had a brush with death when they incurred the wrath of a hungry shark. In the beginning, the two men are about 57 meters deep into the ocean, and one of them appears to be shark calling with the aid of a plastic bottle. Moments later, the diver with the plastic bottle turns around by chance and is shocked by what he sees. Luckily for the pair, the shark pays them no mind after the first encounter. It chooses instead to swim away, leaving them unharmed. On the coast of California, an innocent man was out peacefully kayaking in the open sea when he suddenly felt something hitting the back of his boat. Unfortunately for him, the aggressive predator refuses to back down and decides to come right back for more. At some point, though, the animal appears to take a sudden break from the fight, and he immediately makes an attempt at escaping.
He does not like me at all. Come on, bro.
Many stressful minutes go by when he eventually realizes that he is no longer being followed and proceeds to paddle back to shore. This intense clip picks up right as these cage divers witness a great white shark swimming right towards them. The nightmare goes on as the predator keeps banging against the cage, causing everyone in it to stand there frozen in utter shock. As the animal swims away, the entire boat crew screams out in celebration of what they've just witnessed together. In the Bahamian Reefs, an 8-year-old boy on vacation with his family went out to explore the beautiful ocean floor when things took a horrifying turn. The video starts off with the young man peacefully swimming around the depths of the ocean as his parents watch over him from the boat nearby. Unfortunately for him, though, a shark suddenly appears out of nowhere, lurking not too far away. Just in case, he quickly turns around to swim back to the boat when this happens. Having luckily defended himself just in time, the brave boy continues to swim back to his family, all while keeping an eye out. The video ends there, and whether the shark came back is not known. While offshore kayak fishing, this man felt rather optimistic after noticing something pulling on his fishing line. Although quite heavy, he still tries his best to pull up the unknown object, but what rises to the top is not what he expected.
Whoa!
Now in utter shock, he desperately rolls back his line and proceeds to turn off his camera altogether. This clip starts off as a man can be seen attaching a GoPro to himself and proceeds to carefully make his way towards the edge of a steep cliff with the intention to jump.
Ready?
As the man rises back to the water's surface, his friend suddenly alerts him of something else lurking in the water. Out of pure shock, he immediately turns around and tries swimming away from the predator as fast as he possibly can. After coming just inches away from the animal, the man luckily manages to swim back to shore and climb out of the water for good. A group of Australian friends on a fun spearfishing expedition ended up fighting for their lives when they were attacked by a hungry tiger shark. The camera starts rolling right as they spot the predator suspiciously swimming around right below them. Luckily armed with sharp spears, both men bravely hold their ground to fight the animal off in hopes that it will eventually leave them alone. With the stubborn shark unfortunately refusing to back down, their other friend shows up just in time and immediately tries to get them out of the water.
Ready? Quick, Jeffrey, get in, mate.
The men luckily make it on the boat unharmed and proceed to scream out in celebration of what they've just experienced. This intense clip starts right as a huge great white shark suddenly charges a lone man trying to cage dive in peace. After the collision, the frightened diver is immediately shoved to the back of the cage, which most likely saved his life in that moment. Luckily for him, the beast does not persist after the first collision. Instead, it turns around and swims away completely. Spearfishing in the waters of Big Island, Hawaii, a pair of divers had their day take a horrifying turn when they were unexpectedly attacked by a curious tiger shark. Initially, the camera starts rolling as the divers, unfortunately, notice the huge predator beginning to circle them. The divers keep nervously recording the shark as it continues to suspiciously swim around them when it eventually gets a little too close for their comfort. Now, most likely feeling a little bit angry, the animal refuses to leave them alone and keeps lurking around, probably waiting for the perfect moment to attack. With the shark still after them, they unfortunately decide to stop recording, and what happens next remains unknown. On a sunny day in Florida, this adventurous man was out kayak fishing by himself when he experienced something truly out of this world. The first few minutes of the clip simply show the man explaining his fishing endeavor as he paddles away from the shore towards a bridge.
It's pretty snarky out here. We're gonna start here at the middle of the bridge and I think work to the left.
After being able to bait and catch multiple fish for himself, the man is left stunned when he realizes that his next bait has attracted a bigger fish.
Got him out. Oh my gosh! Holy sh! Oh my God! What?
Still in disbelief of what has just happened, The startled man is forced to cut off the bait from his fishing equipment to save his life and have the shark finally leave him alone. In Gansby, South Africa, YouTuber Ehab Tuji and his friends were cage diving when they witnessed something completely out of this world. Having spotted a great white shark not too far away, they attempt to lure it closer by hooking a piece of meat to a rope. The great white is indeed nearby, but it isn't very interested in that small piece of meat floating around. It tries to bite off the metal bars a few times, but thankfully fails in doing so. The predator gives up on its hopes for a nice meal and turns away to swim back into the depths of the ocean. Just thinking about what could have happened if those metal bars hadn't resisted that shark's bite gives me the chills. Would you ever go cage diving with sharks? I don't think I would. Filmed in Pompano Beach, Florida, this nerve-wracking clip picks up as a man in a kayak attempts to fight off an aggressive hammerhead shark swimming around him.
It's a hammerhead, dude! What's he doing?
Unfazed by the fisherman's attempt to scare it off, the predator continues to circle the man until it sets its sights on another kayaker close by.
He's coming after you now, Bennett. What is it? Wow.
Moments later, the animal seemingly loses interest in the group and takes off in the opposite direction. Near St. George Island, YouTuber Grayshep went out on an exciting spearfishing trip when he unfortunately became the unlucky target of a hungry great white shark. Before anything, he spends his time swimming around the bottom of the ocean and even manages to successfully catch a few fish. After a while, though, he feels like he's done enough and decides to swim back up to his boat when he suddenly feels something swimming beneath him. Now, fearing for his safety, he immediately reloads his spear gun and does his best to stay alert of his surroundings when the predator unfortunately decides to come back.
There's a great white here.
Understanding the danger of the situation, his friends quickly help him get back on the boat, and they all attempt to process what just happened. While kayak surfing in Florida, this innocent man's day took a horrifying turn when he was unexpectedly attacked by an aggressive shark. Originally, he can be seen simply paddling around trying to find the next wave to catch when the unimaginable happens. Trying to process the situation, he carefully observes his paddle to find out what that could have been when the predator strikes again. Now full of adrenaline, the man immediately begins paddling away as fast as he possibly can and eventually makes it back to safety. Somewhere in Guadalupe, a diver got a little more than he bargained for when he attracted the attention of a great white shark while cage diving. In the beginning, all seems to be going well as the diver observes the large animal from a distance. Unfortunately, the shark quickly spots the cage and decides to come get a closer look when this happens. When the cage bars fail to give way, the determined predator circles the cage and now attacks the bars on the other side. Luckily for the diver, the animal seems to lose interest after the second failed attempt and is seen swimming away. While exploring the sea, this scuba diver had a close call with a great white shark that left him startled for quite some time. At first, the man who is armed with a spearfishing gun is seen swimming around the waters without any disturbance. After a few minutes, though, things take a truly shocking turn when he unfortunately becomes the target of a great white shark. With his heart beating at full speed, he does everything in his power to fight off the aggressive and most likely hungry predator. After the encounter, the startled diver quickly alerts his fellow divers of the shark's presence, and they all return to the safety of their boat. This clip shows a man calmly fishing the waters of Salt Rock, South Africa, when something truly unexpected happens. After almost getting knocked into the water by the shark, the man pulls his legs back into the kayak to avoid accidentally baiting the animal. The video, unfortunately, ends there, and what happens next is not known. In the Fiji Islands, a brave underwater film crew were just trying to do their job when a rather big tiger shark tried to let them know who's boss. As the beast swims down from above, the men attempt to make the most of this close encounter by capturing as much footage of the shark as possible. The unexpected happens when the animal, probably feeling a bit hungry, approaches one of the divers and tries to bite his hands right off. Out of shock, the man quickly backs off. Fearing that it might make another attempt, the diver does his absolute best to remain face to face with the beast as it now begins circling around him. A few stressful minutes go by when the shark finally decides to spare the men and swim away. They all look at each other in disbelief of what just happened. Those divers were very lucky to capture such footage without getting bitten, injured, or worse. While shark cage diving in Guadalupe Island, two divers received the greatest frights of their lives when they came face to face with a humongous great white shark. At first, the two daring men are having a great time taking in all the wonders of the sea from the comfort of the shark cage, and then, out of nowhere, this happens. Unsure of how to release itself, the predator struggles with the cage for quite some time before it is able to break free. After setting itself free, the majestic animal immediately turns around and swims away, leaving the two swimmers to sigh with relief. 4 miles off of Key West Island, a woman named Heidi came dangerously close to becoming shark food when she least expected it. The clip starts out with Heidi calmly taking a swim in the ocean, while her husband watches from on the boat. The two are chatting and generally having a good time until the man notices something horrifying in the water.
Hey Heidi.
Over there.
Hey Heidi, get in the boat.
Are you being serious?
Yep.
Upon taking a closer look, it is discovered that not one, but 2 sharks had been circling Heidi just below the surface of the water.
Holy can you imagine?
Look at
Have you
that.
seen them?
Yeah, they're like circling.
Thankfully, the predators seem to lose their appetite for a human snack, and they both proceed to swim off in the opposite direction. This clip starts off rather intensely as these unlucky cage divers suddenly get attacked by a great white shark. They all continue screaming at the top of their lungs as the vicious predator keeps trying to get to the meal inside. The nightmare goes on for many more minutes until the animal finally decides to leave them alone and swim away completely. A sunny day in Florida, a fisherman was having the time of his life trying to reel in a bull shark that he just caught when the unimaginable happened. At first, he immediately begins recording after feeling something rather heavy pulling the end of his fishing line.
Alright. We got a shark here. I'm trying to get vertical on him so he doesn't cut me off with his tail.
With the powerful animal attempting to swim away, he starts following it around the river to make the most of the situation.
Fighting sea monsters. God dang, this guy is pulling. I gotta sit down. I came for a fight. That's what I got.
Eventually, he bravely decides to lower his camera into the water in hopes of capturing a clear shot of the predator.
There's nothing better than getting a workout on a kayak.
Still luckily unharmed by the increasingly frustrated shark, the man keeps trying to reel it closer to his kayak when this happens.
Alright. Took a bite out of my kayak.
Now full of adrenaline, he immediately begins paddling away as fast as he possibly can and eventually makes it back to safety. In Kona, Hawaii, a daring fisherman paid the price for attracting the attention of a starving tiger shark. This intense clip picks up with the man spearfishing underwater. For a time, all seems to be going well, and he even manages to catch a fish, which he leaves on the springer. All of a sudden, a tiger shark emerges and positions itself dangerously close to the spearfisher and his catch. In order to scare off the relentless predator, the fisherman decides to grab his courage with both hands and moves to poke it with his spear. Now terrified, the man slowly starts swimming backward towards the shore, and he even surrenders his catch to the beast as a way to keep it distracted. The clip ends abruptly, and what happens next sadly remains a mystery. In Montauk, New York, a fisherman hauled in a little more than he originally expected while kayaking in the middle of the ocean. At the start of the video, the daring man is preparing his fishing gear and stringing bait with the hope of making an interesting catch for his YouTube video.
Oh, yo, yo, yo! Craziness of mackerel over here. Come on, where'd you go?
Now down to his last bait, the kayaker decides to give it one last try, and seconds later he feels something heavy at the end of the line.
fish on. There we go. This is the sleigh ride I wanted. Woo!
Trying to capture the best footage possible, he carefully tries to reel in the shark to grab a closer look of it, but things don't go as planned.
Tank of a brown shark. Circle hook right in the corner of the mouth, too. Whoa! Whoa!
Despite its attempt at escaping, the shark is unable to free itself from the hook and is once again reeled in by the man. This time, though, it decides that enough is enough. Following this, the shark most likely swam far away, and the man simply decided to put an end to his video. This man was out calmly exploring the sea life when he was visited by a huge great white shark, and the outcome is chilling. The video starts out with a diver who is taking a swim, pointing his spearfishing gun at the animal right below him. In an unfortunate twist, the predator notices the man getting closer and now starts swimming in his direction. To scare the approaching shark, the visibly nervous diver now tries poking the animal with his spear gun multiple times. Having survived the close encounter, the man finally returns to his boat and sits in utter disbelief. On a nice day in Australia, a man's average kayak fishing trip quickly went south when he ended up being relentlessly chased by a hungry great white shark. At first, he begins recording after unfortunately spotting a shark fin poking out of the water just a few feet behind him.
Hey Dave, come here please. He's chasing me. He's chasing me. Chasing me.
With the hungry predator still pursuing him, he eventually gets back with his friend and does his best to scare it off.
Oh, she's very interested in me. Holy that's a big white. Dave.
For the next few minutes, both men try to stay together and do their best to keep an eye out for the shark, just in case. As the animal appears to have thankfully lost interest, the men simply decide to stop recording and go on with their day. YouTuber M. Hakim was on an ordinary dive at Brothers Island in Egypt when a member of his crew got extremely unlucky. At first it seems like an average shark encounter where nothing bad usually happens. Unfortunately, things go south rather quickly when the shark begins circling around one of the divers. Feeling threatened, the man tries to swim away from the predator as it suddenly attempts to take a bite out of his foot. Luckily, it fails in doing so and calmly swims away like nothing happened. The divers now begin to seriously worry about their safety. Just a few minutes later, the shark comes right back for the same guy and attempts to bite his face off. He does everything in his power to fight the beast off as it keeps coming back at him. Thankfully, the man is able to land a powerful punch on the shark's face that scares it away. truly anything is possible in the ocean, and you should always be prepared to fight for your life, like this man did. What would you do if a shark came that close to you? Would you swim away or fight it off? Near the coast of Mozambique, a group of divers had their day take a horrifying turn as they were unexpectedly circled by a rather curious great white shark. Initially, they appear to be peacefully enjoying the ocean floor when they suddenly spot something to their left. The divers keep nervously recording the predator as it continues to swim around them, seemingly plotting something. With the shark still suspiciously lurking nearby, they all unfortunately decide to stop recording, and what happens next remains unknown. While fishing at sea on an 8-foot kayak, this man unfortunately hauled in a little more than he bargained for. At the start of the video, the fisherman reveals that his catch is quite heavy, and so he suspects that it might be a shark.
He's down there. He's big. Now, I'm letting him twist me because I don't want to go too quickly or else he'll flip me. I'm only in an 8-foot kayak. I'm not in a kayak that's designed to be fishing in, I'll tell you that.
He carefully reels it in for a while, and when the catch comes close to the surface, he confirms that it is indeed a tiger shark, one big enough to overturn his kayak.
See that tiger shark right there? I'm gonna have to cut this line right here real soon, right?
After bringing the majestic beast to the surface for a closer look, the brave man decides to let it go, afraid that its strength might flip over his kayak.